Anxiety doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just whispers, "You're not enough." And for years, I believed it. My name is Evan Ross. I'm 36. I live in a small town called Mason Heights, just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. On the surface, I looked like any other guy. I worked as a mechanical technician at a local factory, paid my bills, didn't make waves, smiled when necessary, and I was dying inside. I didn't have some huge, tragic moment to blame. That's what made it worse. It was just a slow erosion, a daily wearing down. You wake up every morning and feel it's nothing, or worse, an invisible weight pressing on your chest before your feet even hit the ground. I wasn't abused, I wasn't homeless, but I was emotionally abandoned in ways that no one could see, in ways I couldn't explain without sounding ungrateful. I had parents who were present but not really there. A home that looked normal but felt cold. My feelings were always too much, or not enough. So I learned to hide them. Hide the fear, hide the shame, hide the sense that something inside me was broken and unworthy of being loved. At 17, I had my first panic attack in the middle of chemistry class. I told the nurse I hadn't eaten breakfast. She gave me crackers. I gave her a smile and I carried on. That's what men do, right? We carry on. By 28, I had mastered the art of pretending. Laugh at the jokes. Say I'm good even when you're not. Pour yourself into work. Lift weights not because it makes you stronger, but because it's the only time you feel control. But one morning, it broke. I worked 14-hour shifts 3 days straight. My boss asked for more. I nodded. My girl asked me why I never talk. I shrugged. I walked out into the freezing Pittsburgh dawn, and something inside me just cracked. I sat in my car, stared at the steering wheel, and couldn't start the engine. That was the moment. The silence. No explosion. Tears. Just ... stillness. And I realized I couldn't remember the last time I felt alive. That night, I did something I hadn't done in years. I wrote, not for anyone, just for me. I wrote, I feel invisible, even to myself. I started writing every day after that. Just 10 minutes. It was messy, sometimes angry, sometimes numb. But slowly the words became a mirror. I started to see a man underneath the armor. A broken man, but a man still worth rebuilding. The habit that saved me wasn't some grand gesture. It was the decision to show up for myself. Every morning before work, just 10 minutes of truth. I stopped waiting to be understood, started understanding myself. One day, I met an old guy at the gym. Name was Rick, 60-something, retired Navy. We barely spoke. But one day he said, "You move like a man carrying more than his body weight." I laughed, but it hit me hard. He said, "Every man breaks. The ones who become unbreakable. They choose to rebuild every damn day. No applause, no audience, just war in the mirror." That was it. I wasn't weak for being broken. I was weak for pretending I wasn't. So I started choosing truth over performance, silence over noise, and discipline over self-pity. Small things, the alarm, cold showers, leaving my phone in the other room, writing instead of scrolling, and learning to breathe when the panic came, not run. I'm not healed, I'm healing. I still have nights where I feel like I'm drowning in invisible pain, but I don't drown in silence anymore. I fight. I don't need everyone to understand me. I need to understand myself enough to never abandon me again. If you feel like you're breaking, you're not alone. If you feel like a ghost in your own life, I've been there. And if you've got the guts to face the quiet, you'll find a strength no one can take from you. There was a time I thought strength was about how much I could carry. Now I know it's about what I'm willing to let go. Letting go of shame. Letting go of proving myself. Letting go of that fake version of me that never needed help. One night, about a year into my healing, I was driving back from work. Heavy shift, cold rain. Same highway I'd driven 1,000 times, and I just broke down, pulled over, sat in silence. And I cried. It's a kind of crying where you can't even catch your breath. Not because of one specific thing, but because of everything. Everything I'd held back. All the words I never said. I smiled just to be liked. All the times I said I'm fine when my soul was screaming. And in that breakdown, something extraordinary happened. I didn't die. I didn't fall apart. I survived the moment I feared the most. Being real. And that's when it hit me, maybe I wasn't broken. Maybe I was buried under years of pretending. And now, I was finally digging my way out. The best phase of my life didn't begin when everything got easy. It began when I stopped waiting for things to be easy. Today, I wake up at 5:30, not because I have to, but because it's the hour where no one expects anything from me. I write, I stretch, I breathe. It's not glamorous, it's not Instagram worthy, but it saved my life. It's the habit that saved me. There's power in routine. There's power in choosing discomfort on purpose. There's power in becoming the kind of man you would have looked up to as a kid. That's the version I'm building now, brick by brick, quietly, daily. I've watched strong men collapse under pressure. I've seen quiet men become warriors with nothing but intention and grit. You don't need to scream to be powerful. You just need to keep showing up when nobody's watching. If you feel like a failure because you don't have it all figured out, breathe. No one really does. But if you're willing to keep going without applause, without certainty, we're already ahead of 99% of people, because most give up before they even start. You want to become unbreakable? Then embrace being broken first. Embrace the nights you cry, the mornings you can't get out of bed, the guilt, the shame, the fear, the pain. That's your fire. It's the furnace where real men are forged. I used to think my story was too messy to matter. Now I know it's the mess that gives it meaning. To every man who fights alone, I see you. To every man who's tired of performing, I feel you. And to every man rebuilding in silence, I respect you. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You just need to stop abandoning yourself. I'm not perfect. I'm not a guru. I'm just a man who finally got sick of the lies. The lie that you have to be tough all the time. The lie that your value comes from your paycheck. The lie that real men never fall apart. We do fall apart, but then we put ourselves back together, piece by piece, in silence, in sweat, in truth. If no one ever told you this, let me be the first. You are not weak for feeling too much. You are not broken because you haven't figured it all out. You are not behind. You are becoming. So be that guy. The one who chooses discipline over excuses. The one who doesn't need validation to do what's right. The one who keeps going no matter how heavy the day gets. Be that guy who gets up one more time, who builds when no one believes in him, who holds the line when it feels like hell. It's because one day, your future son, or nephew, or friend will need someone to look up to. And they won't need a superhero. They'll need a man who survived himself.